I want to thank you for allowing me to have just a few minutes of your time today. My name is Michael, and I want to talk to you about something I am very passionate about, and that's ACEs. But I refer to it sometimes as the silent pandemic. Now, I know you may be thinking about that old saying, what I don't know won't hurt me. But I guarantee you this is one thing that even if you don't know it, it can still hurt you. It may be affecting your life right now or have affected it and you don't even know about it. So what is ACEs and why am I so passionate about it? Why do I refer to it as the silent pandemic? And how could it have affected your life and you not even know it? Well, let's talk about it. But before we get into it, if I say anything today that you like, hit that like button. If you know anybody that needs to hear this, share it with them. Even if it's just one person, share it with that one person. And comment down below. And let's have a conversation about it. And even if you don't agree with something that I say, comment that down below also. And we'll talk about it. So, what is ACEs? First of all, ACEs is not like an ace of spades in a deck of cards. ACEs is short for adverse childhood experiences. So ACEs, what it is anything that affects or any adversities that a child experiences before the age of 18. It can be one traumatic trauma, or it can be ongoing trauma. It can be an accident. It can be child abuse. It can be the environment that the child was raised in. It can be ongoing bullying. It can be sickness. It can be long hospital stays. Any of this can traumatize a child. And if this happens before the age of 18, it harms it affects the development of the child's brain. And it also affects them physically in their bodies. And if they're not healed, they carry this into adulthood, and then it becomes, as we call, long-term effects. Anything from mental issues, mental health issues, sicknesses, autoimmune diseases, strokes, diabetes, heart attacks, heart disease, anything that affect. And also, it can take 20 years off your life. That's right, 20 years off the person's life if he's not healed or she's not healed from trauma they experienced from a child. To me, that's very important. And that's why I'm so passionate about getting this out, educating people about ACEs. Now, I want to ask you something. Have you heard about ACEs? Have you heard anybody talk about ACEs? Comment down below and tell me if you heard it. Or comment down below and tell me if this is your first time hearing it. So, ACEs. I know as many people, because I've talked to many people about it. And none of the people that I've talked to have heard about it. And by the way, did you know in 2019, over 600,000 cases of child abuse were reported? 600,000 cases. To me, that's an alarming number to me. I don't know about you, but it is to me. And most of those cases, there was multiple children on those cases. So the number very well could be double that 600,000. That's why it's so important for ACEs to be talked about. And what hurts me the most is most of those children are not being healed. I know because I worked in the system. I worked in a boys' home where there was a ward of the states where they had experienced some type of trauma. And now I would see them in the boys' home, and I would see them being shipped from one home to the other home, and most of them not being healed. And they're carrying that hurt, that physical hurt, that mental hurt into adulthood, now becoming long-term effects. So this is why it's so important for ACEs to be talked about and people to be educated on ACEs. So how could it have affected your life and you not even know about it? You could have been raised or going to school with somebody and you know they acted differently from everybody else. Maybe they were shy. Maybe they were aggressive and liked to fight all the time. Maybe they were easily triggered and you didn't understand why. Or maybe you know somebody as an adult, you're friends with somebody that's suffering with mental health issues, that's easily triggered, and you don't understand why. Maybe you were in a relationship with someone, or maybe you're in a relationship with someone that's dealing with mental health issues, that's easily triggered, that's aggressive, and you don't understand what's going on with them. Or maybe you are the one that was abused, that was traumatized as a child, and now you don't understand why your life is going the way it is. You don't understand why you are sick all the time, why you're dealing with mental issues all the time, why you have so many fears and insecurities and suffering low self-esteem about yourself. As I always say, just because you live through it doesn't mean you heal through it. So if you are that person, I beg you right now to go find some support, some professional help to help you get past your trauma and everything that you live through. So that's why I am so passionate about this. That's why ACEs should be talked about more than what it is. And that's why I'm doing my part of trying to educate the community and the world about ACEs and how to treat and deal with our children that's been traumatized, because that's a whole different way of healing and treating our children as traumatized than the ones that's not traumatized. And as I get ready to go, I'll ask you if you know anyone, any child, especially any child that you think being traumatized or abused, don't turn your back on them. Don't push it to the side. Don't say, it's none of my business. Don't say somebody else will help them. I beg you, if you know anybody, even if you think, get that child some help, because that child may be too afraid to say anything, to speak out, to ask for help, and you may be the only one that notices and can help that child. Hey, this is all the time I have today. I asked you for just a little bit of your time, and I thank you for giving it to me, allowing me to come into your world, and I will see you again on my next video.